This week's episode was Capella's standouts, and we finally get a good look at what her authority actually entails. We start our first little fight here against Gluttony, and how things aren't looking so good for Crusch. We also get my least favorite decision of the season so far, and if you're an anime only, you're gonna want to hear about this, so stay tuned. To open, we pick up where last week's post-credit scene left off, as Regulus says, "Trust me, you being a virgin is crucial," and that he's not like the other guys. Emilia's lack of understanding of the word virgin practically makes him start glowing, calling her truly the manifestation of his ideal maiden. And now every time he says something cringe like this, I can't help but think of the foil of Subaru I mentioned in the episode 3 video. He invites in wife 184 to get her dressed and prepared for the ceremony, and I can finally answer a question I kept getting in the comments. How does he still only have 79 wives after all these years? Well, the answer is, he doesn't. He just left the 79th spot open. So he actually has nearly 200 wives that we know of so far. Emilia calls him a wicked king, and after a moment of silence, 184 mutters something in agreement, something about the title of the Little King. I spoke about what the name Regulus means at length in the episode 3 video, and it really came full circle here. To those that don't feel like going back, Regulus is a star in the constellation of Leo, which represents Leo the lion. A lion would take women as hostages to its lair in a cave, and was impervious to any weaponry. A pretty fitting meaning, especially since Regulus can also mean Little King. And we now know that Regulus didn't just come alone, but he also brought at least some of his wives. After we check up on Emilia, things immediately hit the fan over at City Hall, as Subaru unleashes his most powerful blow against Roy, and at the same time, Crusch attempts to open up, but all the attacks are meaningless against his dodging capabilities. Julius leaps in to help even the odds, and they refer to each other by code names, keeping in mind Al's advice from last episode. Julius tells Subaru to focus on the goal, and Subaru arrives at a crossroads that displays his growth so far. He can either succumb to his desire for revenge and his own selfish want to see Rem again, which I don't think anyone would fault him for picking, or he can prioritize the overall safety of Pristella and go after lust to stop her from using the meteor. Some Crusch content here is cut, which is sad considering how this fight's about to go. Gone is the Subaru of old who would lash out at Gluttony and not listen to the advice of others, as he rushes into City Hall. Crusch engages in battle with a black dragon known as Capella, while Subaru gets a cool moment of sliding under to save a hostage. The dragon faces an unbelievable defeat at the hands of Crusch. Its wings ripped, fangs broken, and scales shorn, and as it collapses on the spot, allowing Subaru to head to the rest of the hostages. There's only one thing that unsettles him. There's no sound coming from the door. Opening it, something unforgivable lies beyond. There were countless gazes. Maybe they weren't even looking. The room was jammed full of human-sized flies, all of them transformed. Then, the unthinkable happens. Crusch is ambushed by Capella, and the girl laughs at Subaru. There is a cut here from Capella's talk with Subaru that I find quite sad. Subaru whips a piece of rubble, trying to use some rocks to hit her. The narration in this part is particularly good, noting how even in anger, the current Subaru knows that he can't fight an archbishop, and is just trying to escape with Crusch. Capella lets it hit her, and continues to mock and berate him, blowing Subaru away, and calling him irrational. He slowly gets brutalized. She continually transforms in front of him, and his mind finally makes the mental link. Who is to say that it can be used on just her, as he thinks of all the flies in the room adjacent? This is yet another reminder for Subaru. Sin archbishops are existences of pure evil, and the gap between him and one can never be filled. Capella informs us that the reason she changed the people in the city is so that they cannot be loved, or even looked at. People are creatures who can't live without loving someone. Since they are creatures who can't love something that is strange or revolting, then by process of elimination, they can't live without loving something they can love. Subaru feels immense discomfort because she loves him. Not just him, but Crusch, Julius, Garfield, Wilhelm, Ricardo. She loves them all. Among her rant about being a compassionate woman, Capella's rant made me think of one thing. Capella is showing a more extreme version of what Emilia had made Subaru face in episode 13. The me that exists in your head must be great, she said. Capella's existence here is a direct reference to that, because all of the Sin Archbishops reflect Subaru in some way. Betelgeuse's entitlements, Regulus's controlling attitude, Sirius's infatuation, and Capella's ideal form. She shows this further by in the rant boiling down relationships as sexual interest and criticizing Subaru and humanity at large for dressing up lust as love. It's a strong reading for the character that can shapeshift to be whatever you want, but still can't hide her repulsive personality. She sinks her teeth into Subaru's leg, causing it to fully fly off this time, as she pours pitch-black ichor into his leg, and it hurts. He felt fear that originated from a different dimension, as his blood and her blood mixed, but before things could progress, the dragon blew flames into the room. Capella is doing a great job at being one of the two main standouts of the season so far, her and Sirius doing really well at making you feel locked in. Not only are they both getting some good, expressive character animation, they are both very powerful on-screen presences that demand your full attention, especially with the sheer cruelty that Capella displayed this week. Absolutely crazy shit. We cut to Anastasia and Kiritaka, who are receiving word that the battle at City Hall is underway. However, there's a pretty big vibe shift as Kiritaka informs Anastasia that every member of the Council of 10 has been found dead, except for him, of course. But why would that be? If they are looking for the witch's remains, wouldn't they be crucial to discovering them? They deduce the next target will be Kiritaka, and at the same time, a shockwave shoots through the building as Sirius appears. Hetero and Tivy, with the help of Ferris, mobilize to protect their lady. Anastasia asks them to buy 2 minutes, as they both escape to the White Dragon Scales. We cut to the continuation of Reinhard, Heinkel, and Felt, who are still at a standstill until Otto causes enough chaos for Reinhard to capitalize on it and hold his father back, who was then promptly instantly knocked out by Felt. Reinhard, after a few episodes, is finally unleashed upon Pristella, but just how much can he really tip the scales in a situation like this? We see how the fights at City Hall are going, as they can't help but watch the dragon obliterate City Hall. Wilhelm warns the party to get to high ground as something approaches, and everyone is swallowed up by walls of water taller than most of the surrounding buildings. Garf barely clings on, but he can't find anyone, until he watches Subaru get thrown out of the building, and tries to reach him, getting swallowed up by the water. We get a post-credit scene of Amelia watching over the flooded city in horror, as the scale of the damage is unbelievable, as Capella's final broadcast begins. We learn more of the witch cult's demands, the Book of Knowledge, the donation of an artificial spirit, and the wedding of a silver-haired maiden, paired with Typhon's remains, of course. What do you think their demands really mean? The Book of Knowledge and the donation of the artificial spirit in particular? Let me know. In total, this episode was pretty good. ReZero did what it does best and nailed the absolute brutality of Capella versus Subaru, if you can really even call it a fight. And now, Reinhard is in play. And where do you guys think is going to go first? So, I was going to have a break time section in every episode video, assuming they were important enough, but they weren't. Thankfully, that's what I prefer. I like break time being a place for silly little things to happen. However, that stopped entirely this week. Now, if you're watching this, there is a non-zero chance you have no fucking idea what break time even is. If you do or don't, please comment down below because I am very curious how many people actually know this exists. This is traveling into cut content territory, but now that it's at break time, it's technically not cut. Proceed with caution if you really wish to. I spoke a couple of videos ago about how Aldebaran being isekai'd was cut from the anime. Well, they took the least creative, least interesting, and worst execution of all of them to re-add it, by putting it in break time. I absolutely hate this because, as mentioned before, most people don't watch break times. They only get around 200,000 views on YouTube, and they are all unsubbed, not officially available to most, and people don't know they exist. We, learn that Al has been waiting for Subaru to notice about his status as a fellow struggler of fate, exchanging a little saying that only people from Japan know, as Al reveals that he has been here for 19 years, and Al has never met anyone else like him or Subaru. And he tells Beatrice to do her best protecting him, but instead of calling her Beatrice, he calls her Bayako, Subaru's nickname for her, causing her to get frustrated, saying only Subaru can call her that. Al says he knows. He knows that too well. Yes, this information was in a chibi anime that most viewers don't consume. This is why I think this is the worst decision of the season so far, and I was hoping against all odds that this reveal would just be in the main anime, because otherwise, a lot of things are about to make no fucking sense. I have no idea why they made the decision they made, like making it so that Subaru still doesn't know in the anime when this break time takes place during episode 1. It's nonsensical no matter how you look at it. Luckily though, you watch this video and well, despite being re-added in the break time, it's still cut information from the reveal, so let's get into the cut content section. With the Al reveal being shoved absurdly stupidly into break time, it still cuts information. First of all, it neglects to mention that Al served a lot of his time here in this world as a gladiator in Wallachia, specifically the gladiator island of Ginenhive, where people are forced to fight for their life. It also cut that he lost his arm shortly after being isekai'd when he didn't know what was going on, and that he wears his helmet because his face is blanketed with scars and burns from his time as a gladiator, and presumably other times. In the original reveal, Priscilla is also there, so she gets to talk a bit more about their circumstances. She says that the world of ReZero is flat, allegedly, and at the edge lies a great waterfall, where water just falls off, and people like Al and Subaru are said to be from beyond the great waterfall. Of course, many people who claim this are liars, but Al and Subaru are different. Subaru also asks Al if he has tried to find out why he was summoned or how to get home, and tells him no. He hasn't really had the time to, and he's had his hands full just trying to survive. If you have the time, I really recommend reading the original novel review, or even going to the Arc 3 manga to read it. The anime has completely dropped the ball on this. There is something that was unfortunately cut during the Capella versus Subaru thing, Crusch's condition getting worse and worse, and Capella openly mocks Subaru's mindset of wanting to save a girl because she's in trouble, another Arc 5 jab at the way Subaru acted in the past. Finally, the name of Capella's authority from Subaru is cut. Sadly, it's known as Transmutation and Transfiguration. Not a huge cut, just weird. And that will be it for episode 5. This episode was really good, with some great action shots, some incredible character acting from Capella, absolutely nailing her atmosphere, and a setup for a much larger thing to come, as Pristella is slowly turning into a lake. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe for more. You can also check the description down below to become a member, which gives you benefits like early videos, membership badges, and cool custom emotes. You can join the Discord where we talk about ReZero, Kagurabachi, Jujutsu Kaisen, and all kind of stuff. Additionally, you can go to the channel store and pick up some awesome stickers made by our channel artist, so you can carry the power of Graphia with you on your water bottle. That's about it though. Thank you for watching. See ya.